Hello, and welcome to another episode of Well That's Terrific, podcast about anything and everything horror. I'm Tom Cruise.
And I am Mr. S.
And what are we talking about today?
Talk to me. That was I don't know why I did that.
Wait. This is gonna be the picture on the for the YouTube video.
I like that actually.
Let's both do it.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it left, right.
I have to use my left.
Yeah.
I like it. Talk to me.
Talk to me. I have to say, you put this on my radar. I had no idea about this, so I'm gonna let you start, and kind of just give a brief history of how we learned about this movie, right? Because this was kind of an independent movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
and it was picked up. They aired it at a festival. Well, I'll let you elaborate.
Correct.
Elaborate a
No,
little bit more.
you absolutely you knocked it right there. So Talk to Me is an Australian independent film, written, directed by Danny and Michael Filippo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Filippo. They were YouTubers, and they decided to, make this film, and it was showcased in a festival in Australia, and A24, saw it. They liked it. They picked it up. We did mention this previously on our podcast, where we talked about their reactions and how happy they were. People were legit crying, to the news of A24 picking up their film. So it released, as of Friday, July 28th, and as of right now, it has $10 million in openings, around 2,300 theaters. So that's the numbers as of right now. You'll be hearing this podcast on a Tuesday, so do with that as you must. But yeah, I think this is something, like you mentioned, I did put on your radar, something that I was interested in, only because I was very, I guess, surprised that A24 picked up this film, and I wanted to see why. And there was a lot of hype around it. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, this movie was really great, really scary." That they ended up seeing. So I was interested. I told you I saw the trailer, and I thought it was cool. And then I went to go watch The Boogeyman. I've seen the trailer again, and I was a little bit apprehensive. I'm like, I don't know how I'm actually kind of feeling about this right now. And then we finally got to see it. So I'm really happy that we're here right now in this moment to talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have known about this movie till I saw Boogeyman. But I have to say, man, the trailer, we were sold on the first trailer. We were 100% sold on the first trailer. You mentioned that you felt a little apprehensive on the second trailer. But I was still sold. I still wanted to go watch it. I told my girlfriend, I said, "Hey, do you want to go watch it?" She was down. She's not a big horror movie person. I told my cousin and his girlfriend, who is a big horror movie person, and she saw it. She said, "This looks too scary." I was like, "Well, let's go in the morning or something like that, right?" But I things couldn't line up, and I ended up going just with my girlfriend and my cousin. Again, I didn't say this, but he hates horror movies.
Okay.
I say this all to say I went with just my girlfriend, and I went in the afternoon.
Okay.
Definitely an interesting experience, to say the least. I'll elaborate a little bit. But I just want to say that to say, fuck yeah, man, horror. This is one that really brought me back to what a horror movie was, or what a horror movie is. I haven't felt this way since, I want to say, Hereditary. I don't know if you remember Hereditary.
I remember Hereditary.
Yeah, but there's some similarities here. I just want to say it's very, very dark. And I think that's what ultimately got to me. And that's what got to my girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I like it. Obviously spoiler warning for everyone who hasn't watched the film. We like to kind of just break it down first, kind of spoiler free, but then once we get into the nitty-gritty, we'll go ahead and let you know. But so yes, absolutely, yes, 100%. So I ended up actually watching this alone. My wife couldn't come at the time. She was a little bit busy, but she always, tags along when she can too. And just like your girlfriend, she's really not a fan of horror movies as well, but she's really good in terms of being a analytical thinker and kind of deciphering things a little bit. And I told you, she always for some reason knocks down the Scream killers. I don't know how she does it. It's just, she's like, that's the one before even the movie starts. I know it's luck, but whatever.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you can't really count those if she doesn't even watch the movie and she's already pointing them out.
I know, but Listen, it works. But yeah, I think just to touch on what you said, it was dark. It was when I first initially I was like, you know what, we have another like, I guess what you call it, spirits and ghosts and shit like that. We have that type of supernatural entity. And again, like I think I like those films to a degree. Not where it's really really like overwhelming to say the least. And it's like when I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, maybe it doesn't look like it's too much. I feel like there's an actual story, like a story with this. So let me see what it's about. And I'll be honest with you, my first reaction was, damn. Like that first opening sequence?
Yes.
Spoiler free right now. I'm just saying there's a sequence there that happens just like, whoa. Like,
from the opening sequence, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Honestly, I mean, I looked at my girlfriend and I was just like, okay, this is going to be good. Just because how dark that was. Like how... Yeah. And it was so unexpected. I can't even think of something that reminded me of this, or at least as of recently. But it was something where like I guess I was aware of what I was watching, but I didn't expect it to be so dark. Sometimes these newer horror movies, there's always a happy ending. They'll do the intro sequence, but it's never like this. Mm-hmm. This almost gave me the same feeling that Smile gave me, where I was like, okay, I know this is not gonna have a happy ending. Yeah. I know from the very beginning, like this is not gonna have a happy ending.
I'm glad you said Smile, because that is a film that I compared it to when I was finished. And you know what's crazy about this is the fact that when I watched this film, I was actually trying to put myself in the shoes of A24. Like, why am I picking this film up? Like, what about this film is going to be, special and delivered to the horror fans, So, and I gotta say, like, it didn't disappoint. I got more than enough reason. I'll be honest with you. So, like, now, spoiler warning, I do want to go into it a little bit more in depth, and kind of just let you, have my thoughts here, and kind of want to hear yours as well. But I gotta say, it's been a long time that I've seen a horror film, especially with whole supernatural aspect of it, that has a scare factor and such a pace that really kind of hooks you in throughout the whole film. Like
100%.
It's a runtime of 1 hour and 35 minutes, right? It's a short film, or average.
Average, yeah.
Yeah, but it was really good pacing. Like, I mean,
Agreed.
The rhythm of this movie was pretty good.
You're always almost on the edge of your seat where like you don't know what is happening. So it never feels like the movie drags at any point because you don't know where it's going.
Exactly.
So it's like, you have to be at the edge of your seat because it hooks you in and you're trying to figure out, what's going on. So because of that, I think I definitely agree with you. And I mean, now that we're talking about spoilers, that intro sequence, man, like,
oh my God.
I mean, just the setup, was it one shot?
It was one shot, man.
Yeah, I was like, did they Goodfellas me? I was like, did they just Goodfellas me? Did they just do that? I was like, this was like, they literally, the brother goes in, he's looking for I don't remember his name. He's calling the guy's name. Sorry, Ducky?
Yeah.
Duckett, yeah. So he's looking for Duckett. Nobody knows who the fuck is Duckett. Finally he finds Duckett, and he's, you realize, okay, this is the kid from the, this is going to be the kid that dies in this intro sequence or whatever.
Right.
But I did not expect it to go down the way it went down. Yeah. Just how fast it happened and how brutal it all seemed in terms of like, what was it? He tells everybody, stop with the cameras, and he just turns around and gets fucking stabbed. Right. And then I'm like, okay, now what is he gonna do? Because this is a whole bunch of people, and he just fucking stabs himself in the face. I was like, holy shit! Right. Like it was so brutal, so fast. It was like, okay, all right, we're in for a treat. Yeah. I was ready to clap already.
Yeah, no, I think with that intro scene alone, A24 was like, yo. Yeah. Okay, like we got something here. Like it was really good. Like that one shot was great. Everything you just described was great. There was suspense there because the door is shut and he's trying to like obviously break that.
And he breaks the door down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear that that's his brother, and like it was a great scene. It was a great scene, a great intro scene, and it's also very crucial to the story's ending, which I'll get to later, because if you really think about it, but like they could have went and not chose to do that intro. They could have done something completely different, but there's a reason why they did it that way, and I'll tell you that in a little bit right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that intro scene was crazy. It was
100%. Now, I want to get to why I compared this movie to Hereditary, right?
Okay.
Because we're talking about how I'm talking about how I was on the edge of my seat, right?
Right.
And I guess part of watching the trailer actually helped me with this movie, right? I do think that the trailers did a good job of not showing too much. At least I don't think I remember anything.
That's always a benefit, man, of a trailer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I don't think I remember anything where I was like, I'm expecting anything. So I'm watching the movie, and of course, you know that there's this game, you know there's this hand, you know that there something is happening, and they tease it, they show it a couple times, and you're waiting for something to happen because at this point, even when you get introduced to the hand, they're just playing with it, right? And there's not really anything happening of circumstance of like of nothing of circumstance that's gonna cause anything in the movie. Nothing that really says like, okay, something's happening. I thought, at least based on the trailer, she's gonna start seeing things. I didn't expect the scene with the kid, and that's where it got to me, right? So I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, and again, very similar to Hereditary, right? If you remember Hereditary, they're at the party, the little girl's there, and
That's so sad. That's
you watch the trailer and it kind of throws you out, throws you a certain direction where you think the movie's about one thing, and then
Yeah.
you're watching it and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Like, what's the turning point? What's gonna move the movie forward here? Again, a lot of suspense going on. You think it's the allergic reaction, right? Because she's allergic to, what is it, peanuts or something?
Peanuts, I think she ate that brownie or whatever it was. I
Yes,
think it was
and
peanuts in there.
it had peanuts. So you're like, oh my gosh, she's having an allergic reaction, and then you get the scene with the pole, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, right?
Very sad.
And that was my reaction here, 100%. I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, she's finally gonna. I guess she's gonna let the kid do it. And then you get the whole scene with the mom or whatever. She thinks it's her mom. She's like, let it go. It's supposed to be only 20 seconds. And then the kid starts fucking bashing his brains in. And I'm looking at my girlfriend, and she's almost in tears next to me watching this. And I'm like, holy shit. I was like, did they just do that? I was like, did they just do this? And I'm like, okay, this is dark. Like, this is when I
balls in
knew.
this movie,
Yeah, this is when I knew the movie had balls, and it fucking sold me. Like, not that I wasn't already sold, but now I was fully invested. Now I'm already like, okay, I'm fucking in. I'm in for a ride. I'm strapped on. Like, I'm just put everything on at this point. I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's do this.
I couldn't agree with you more. And like everything that you described in terms of the feeling, I felt that with the first scenario with the hand. With the first time the main character Mia, who's played by Sophie Wilde, the first time she goes under, like lets a spirit in, I think that scene kind of was great because they explained everything. The other guy, Haley, whatever the guy's name was, he explained everything correctly in terms of the candle and how long you have to be under, otherwise they want to stay. And like it just the suspense and the whole build up to that scene was very nicely, thought out. And then it happens, like Mia like goes in and it's like whoa. And then something I don't know if you guys caught or you caught when she's first when she's first, I guess, taken over by the spirit, when she lets the spirit in, she looks at, what's the boy's name? Riley. That's the boy's name. And she says, they want you. Like, she kind of scares him.
Yeah, 100%.
So, which is some type of indication that, I guess.
It was foreshadowing for later on, yeah.
Exactly. So, like, that whole first, scene with the hand was great. And then they do it again at the house. And you're like, all right, it may be the same thing. Like, what are we going to expect now? Blah, blah, blah. And then I did not at all, like, even from watching the trailer, have any idea like this kid was going to be like one of the main,
100%.
movie.
That's 100%. Same thing. But
and
I
it
also
was just so disturbing too. He's like holding his eyes. Like,
yeah, it was so gruesome and so disturbing just because obviously he's doing it to himself and it's just so brutal. I also want to mention Miranda Otto's in this movie, and I don't know if you've seen her, but I've seen her in a couple different things. She's in War of the Worlds. She's in Lord of the Rings.
oh, nice.
Yeah, she's probably the most famous actress in this movie.
Definitely.
If you go look at her IMDb, she's in a lot of things. She's in Annabelle. She was in Homeland. She's in a lot of different things. If you didn't recognize her, yeah, she's definitely she was definitely the outlier here in terms of the actresses.
Oh, the mom
or the
mom.
actress. Yeah, the mom. Yeah,
she was great. Yeah, absolutely.
and I felt bad for her, man. It was just, and she was the cool mom. It was very interesting because she was a cool mom. She, there was an interesting dynamic between her and her kids. I don't know. And then for that to happen, and again, they kind of set everything up in place where like Mia's kind of set out to be like this kind of bad guy, and of course, when it gets to that point, and she lets what's his name again? I keep forgetting. Riley, right?
Right.
Riley.
Yeah.
When she lets Riley actually play, or I don't know what we want to call it,
Yeah.
talk to the hand or
Talk to a spirit. Let's say that.
yeah, talk to the spirit. Yeah, man, that was fucking brutal.
Yeah, it was very brutal, and I thought that was a nice twist too. The fact that it was her mom there, which
Yeah.
obviously was justification, not justification, but reasoning for her to be like, "Yo, wait, let's go a little bit over." You know what I'm saying? And it's just that scene was whoa, like, and also the way they did it, it's like the whole like talk to me aspect, and then their heads kind of going back, their eyes going black,
But
and like
yeah,
it's crazy. I do have a question about it though, that I feel like wasn't really answered in the movie. Is that when you first have the hand and say talk to me, does just like anybody pop up, like anyone?
it seemed like it was.
Or,
It seemed like it was anybody. It didn't really indicate where these spirits were or what it was. It just seemed like it was. I don't know. I think there is a point where they refer to it as like kind of limbo or something, but I don't know if that's what they're indicating. And that wasn't like 100% concrete. I think somebody just offhand mentions that, but maybe these are just spirits that are stuck in limbo. Which we can get to in terms of the full circle of this movie and her nightmare becoming a reality, right? Because that's literally what happens at the end of this movie. But what did you think about the movie after that moment with Riley?
I thought that it came to be a lot more in terms of like character development because of Mia, like obviously figuring out that her mom committed suicide and not overdosed, and like what she has to do and the right thing to do and all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. She feels like shit that she's the reason why that happened, all that stuff. But I also was trying to find answers. Like her mom was there, right? Why is her mom there? I don't think her mom was doing her good. I don't think her mom being there is a good positive, like a thing for her. Like it was all setting her up for failure, right?
100%.
I think the first time that she was, taken over by a spirit, that spirit stayed, which is why she was still seeing things at the hospital that I have here. She was, seeing things at night, when she was sleeping with, what was his name again? Daniel? I think Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason why that was happening. I thought it was because of her mom, that she was going to get to have some type of connection again with her mom. But like you mentioned, it's full circle, and it all has to do with the ending. But I don't know, man. I thought the movie after that kept on going. Like I mentioned, like the pace was really good. Like, they were trying to figure out how to fix it, what to do. Like they're trying to tell us something we didn't know. They even went back to the main character who got stabbed by his brother. It's like, I don't know.
So that's another big reveal. We find out that he survived. He didn't die.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought he died. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the way they showed it looked like he died. But I asked that to say, for me personally, I was, like I mentioned, I was sold 100% onto the movie. But then, as the movie progressed, I got some frustrations for Mia's character. So for one, you mentioned her mom, right? Somebody lets her know that this thing could pretend to be other people. And to me, it was pretty obvious. I mean, I don't know if, obviously, she went through this trauma with her mom, but she let this, whatever you want to call it, this spirit fool her. And it was just a bit of a frustration, like watching her as a character and like going through everything and believing everything that the spirit was telling her. And I understood what the movie was doing 100%, because you get the other character, you get Riley's sister. What's her name? Jade.
Jade.
Yes. So you get Jade, who's like the basically opposing character, where she's the one that didn't like fall into the hand. She never took the hand.
She never took it. She hated it, and she was hating her brother for doing it.
Yeah, the hand was almost like an escape here, almost like a drug, and Mia was obsessed from the moment she did it, and she got hooked onto it. She got hooked onto it, and she believed everything that came with it. And in this case, she believed everything that came with her mom to the point where it played with her, right? It told her that I wasn't her father. And then she ended up accidentally killing her father. And then it told her that her mom didn't overdose. I mean, that her mom didn't commit suicide and that she overdosed. If, I mean, you watch the movie, you know her mom did overdose. That wasn't her mom who was speaking to her.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the spirit who was trying to convince her to kill people or to kill Riley in the sense, right?
yeah.
Um, I did think that was pretty dark. Like, I mean, the whole movie's dark, but the way it's trying to basically bring her onto the dark side, and also the way they showed Riley, right? Like the way I don't know if you want to call that hell or whatever they showed, but the way they show Riley
Yeah, like
in
with
this
in
dark
like
scene with
yeah, with the
hands
whole
all over
red.
him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was almost like I don't know, if, for lack of a better name. I mean, we're gonna call it hell, but
Hell yeah,
that's what it felt like, right? It was a dark red. It was red. It was hands
absolutely.
all over him. He was being taken down. He was being held, and then it felt like she was being taken to the dark side.
Right.
And then at the very end, you get that little twist. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. Overall,
Yeah.
I mean, not to jump the gun here, but I liked it. I just felt that the second half of the movie was a bit of frustration for me because I wanted, not that I didn't want a happy ending, no, but I wanted Mia to kind of figure it out, and she
Yeah.
didn't. She just basically
Yeah. Well,
she got dragged to the dark side.
so your frustration is my, like I guess approval because you know me, I don't really like when things are too predictable, and you're right here. Like she's taken over, like she's seeing things and like she's figuring out things, and she's like stabbing her father in the throat, and like she's doing all these things because she's obviously seeing things, and because she has that, I guess, spirit in her. My thing is the fact that this movie does a good job of really showing the difference between like obviously humans and dead spirits, and how like there's a gap, like there's a literally like a door there, and if that door is open, things like this can happen, right? It's not like something we
100%.
haven't seen before, but that whole mom thing was throwing me off a little bit. I'm like, I really didn't know what was going on because they were trying to make her seem like she was helping her, and I was getting a little bit confused as to why. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you gotta save him. Riley's in trouble, because I was questioning. I was like, if a mom really like was trying to help her out, then why are they like being why are they showing that hell scene? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
why, like, I guess why is the whole question?
So
And
there were little hints, I would say, as to you realizing that was not her mom. One, just being her appearance. Yes, she
Of
was
course, of
dead,
course.
but she
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
very sinister appearance.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they do kind of play with you because you see every time Riley wakes up, he's trying to kill himself. So
Right.
when the mom, quote unquote, tells you you got to save him, it makes sense. But then you hear Jade say he's actually getting better. He was actually healing at a certain point. I don't know what necessarily. I don't know if
Yeah,
after some
I
time the
still
spirit
don't
left
even know
him.
what healed him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so there is
Yeah.
some sort of obscurity there where we don't know what happened, and I think that does affect our understanding of the situation because again, it almost leads you to believe that maybe the mom is helping, but if we had a better answer to that question, then maybe we would know that she wasn't.
Right.
Because again, we don't know that Riley's healing, right? We
don't.
really think
mean-
that he's still possessed.
Still possessed, trying to legit like kill himself, like that
Yep.
whole shower scene where he's like
Yep.
banging his head. So I guess that's a little bit unclear to us as well. But that ending scene, I want to talk about this ending scene now. So Mia is trying to help out Riley, and she comes to the conclusion that she has to kill him, kind of reminiscent of how she saw a hurt kangaroo on the road with Riley, and how Riley kind of says to her, give it mercy, all that stuff. She didn't do that with the kangaroo. She kind of drove by it.
Just
and now,
just to not to cut you off, but just to say this was early on in the movie, so this is
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
anything happens.
Before
We
anything
see a
happens.
kangaroo on the road, and they want to. Riley says, you should take
Put
it
him out
out.
of his misery.
Yeah, put her out of its misery, right? But she can't do it. Mia can't do it, and they just swerve around it and let it go.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she kind of, when she's seeing him in the hospital, she sees the kangaroo in her reflection,
yeah,
and she even
exactly.
hears the kangaroo crying.
Yeah, yeah. And so I guess this time she's gonna try to put, Riley out of his misery, and she decides to try to kill him. So she puts him in a wheelchair, and they're going, through a major highway, and bam, something happens. We realize that Mia's actually the one that ended up dying.
I knew
so
from the moment they showed her on the street and the moment she woke up in the hospital, I knew she was dead.
Oh, of
Because-
course, absolutely.
because
Just the way they kind of did it.
Yeah, and because she mentioned her nightmare early on in the movie. She says she
The
has a
mirror, yeah.
reoccurring nightmare that when she looks in the mirror, she doesn't have a reflection.
Yeah.
And I think that's another, that's another form of symbolism of this sort of being dead or being stuck in limbo. And when she woke up in the hospital, and you slowly start to realize nobody's responding to her.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, so to me, it's like, okay, I'll be honest with you. I was questioning. I think Riley, like when she saw that Riley and Jade and the mom Sue was like leaving, I was a little bit confused. I thought that, maybe that was the answer, but I don't know. I still don't know why Riley got healed, to be honest with you.
I think that ending is meant to be like what actually ended up happening in the future. So I think Riley healed and, moves on. It's fine. And I think the father actually did not die.
No, he didn't die. He didn't die because I think when Jade went to go see him, like he was still there.
We don't know if she calls the cops though. She's just
That's true,
she's so in the situation, so in the middle of things that I was hoping she did, but there was never any indication that she did.
Indication, yeah. So we realize now that Mia is actually the one that's trapped on the other side, right? Other side of the hand or the world, whatever you want to call it. And
She sees a hand.
And she sees a hand. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty dope, actually. It goes all dark. The hospital lights turn off.
It's a full circle moment, for sure.
Absolutely a full circle moment because we get to see kind of the POV of, I guess, the spirits, right? The people that are dead. And obviously the guy at the end is like, talk to me and I'll let you in. That's great. Mia dying, I feel bad. I feel bad that she died too, but I also don't like that, it was too predictable. So that's a plus for me always. And I also like the fact that, we root for her. We root for her. We really do. You're rooting for her because you feel bad for her. Like it's a sob story with her mom and stuff. But this spirit really got the best of her. She
100%.
felt victim. And now at the end, she's a spirit herself. So I think one thing that surprised me about this movie is the fact that the symbolism that you mentioned, the dreams, the kangaroos, all that stuff. Like they make it work really well. It comes back towards the end, and it's like more of like a poetic justice type thing, and it's really like an added layer of to this movie, and it's like that's like pretty awesome coming from like an independent film. I told you, I really like
100%.
like that.
I was actually going to ask you, is this really considered an independent film? But I guess to a certain degree, yes.
I think so. I would say so. A lot of these actors are not, famous, and these writers obviously, they had.
But the budget on this was $4.5 million.
Was it?
Yeah, I looked it up. I said the budget was $4.5 million. How much of an independent movie can you be? I mean, the effects and everything looked really good too.
Honestly, then I do think that kind of changes things.
I mean, it doesn't make it a bad movie by any means. It's just
it doesn't make
we can't see it as an
they
independent movie.
They definitely had the resources to kind of make this movie happen. Nah, it's an independent film. I would say it's an independent film. I think the whole also like everyone being Australian and the Australian place and whatnot. By the way, shout out Australia. I love it. It's great. I've been there twice. It's great. I think A24 really saw something in this film, and
I think the more I talk about it, the more I actually like the movie. And the crazy thing is, you're mentioning how you enjoyed it and you appreciate the poeticness of it all and how everything kind of tied together beautifully. But we're not even talking about how the movie was actually legit scary and like it was horror. It was
a scary movie.
It was. My girlfriend hated the movie, but in a good way, in the sense of she just thought it was too dark. She thought it was brutal. And I understood her, but I think this was the first time in a long time that I watched the movie, and I don't know if I'm just desensitized to the point of I've seen so many scary movies. But I was more excited than I was scary. I knew it was scary, but I was so into the movie that I was excited. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense. And
I don't know if that's just us. I don't know if you experience the same thing nowadays.
You know the thing is when I look at movies now, like obviously I want to analyze the film for what it is, but I also find like errors, and I look for like things that I think the normal people with a naked eye like that wouldn't see. So it's like I have like a different type of set of eyes for the films. Like when you see something gory, obviously you kind of are used to it. It doesn't really affect you that much. But I agree, man. This movie has a scare factor, and this is how it was advertised initially. One of the scariest films they've seen. So. The fact that it owned up to that,
yeah, it delivered 100%.
I think that's a plus because me, somebody can say something scary. I'm just like, oh,
yeah, no, 100%. But that's why it's unique because it's like, especially for us, right? Where we've seen so many movies that like it would be, somebody could consider something scary that we wouldn't consider scary. That somebody will say like, oh, I saw, I don't know, you know, uh, I saw
Yeah,
the shark movie. I saw
yeah,
this and it was scary, and then we're like, yeah, really? Like,
yeah.
for us, it's like it's different. But the fact
It's
that we can say like this was actually scary and this was brutal and
it,
suspense and
it
a
was.
lot.
I think it was scary and it was suspenseful. I think that combination is a deadly combination because they didn't do anything too extreme. I know saying talking to a spirit sounds a little bit extreme and a little bit out there, but the way they do it, the pacing in which they do it, and the way they describe it so you understand it, I think that's what makes it even scarier. I'm telling you,
100%.
like,
100%.
and like it's so simple. Like if you think about it, like talk to me, and then you get possessed, and then you talk for like a minute in a chair, and then you're done. Like that's it. Like
I'll
that's
tell you
just
this
crazy.
much. My girlfriend's never banned me from talking about a movie before. She was like, I don't want to talk about this. She's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. She's like, I don't want
That's
to.
funny.
I don't want to fucking talk about this. Yeah, it was that scary. It was that
Yeah.
scary for her. I enjoyed it. Before I give my final score, I do want to ask you a question though. I kind of thought about this right now on the fly, just with everything. But do you think, in a way, the hand was a metaphor for drugs? And I only say that because there was the whole of a certain age. They kind of mentioned Mia was like she has they say that she had smoked weed once or
Weed
something,
before, yeah.
and there's an offhand comment where they call her a junkie, and the way they kind of react to it, right? They enjoy being in this sort of state. It's not that they're just talking to a spirit. It's something that they shouldn't enjoy, but
Honestly.
they're overtaken by it, and they want to keep on doing it to the point where they let the young kid do it, and look what happens, right?
Yeah.
So
I
I'm wondering
think
if there's something there.
I think there is something there. And now that I'm actually thinking about it, Jade is a prude, right?
Exactly.
She hasn't kissed. She's like a virgin. And
Exactly. She's the only one that doesn't
she's
do
the
it.
only one that doesn't do it. Yeah. So I think that's a beautiful comparison. And Mia has had her fair share of, I guess, drugs in the past, and it takes over and it kills you. And giving it to a little kid, it does this to them.
Yeah.
So that's great, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I just want to mention that, drop that little glimpse there. But with that being said, I do have to say I gotta give this a thumbs up, man. I really like this movie. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Yep, I have to. I really
this
thought
shit.
this movie was great,
I
or
mean-
I would say it's fucking amazing. I had small little nitpicks here and there. I don't really have many negatives. I just thought sometimes there were scenes where I was frustrated with Mia, and there were scenes where I thought like, why isn't anybody hearing these things? Like, for example, when she's in her room, I'm like, where's her dad? She's making a whole bunch of noise. There were a lot of scenes like that where I was like, why aren't people catching on to certain things?
Right.
But nothing to the point where I was like, okay, that's not believable. And I don't know. I was sold, man. I did not expect this. Thank you for putting this on the radar. I'm really happy I saw this in the movie theater as well.
I appreciate that. I really, really do. I think I hate to say this, and I don't mean to say this because I can only be transparent with myself. As you and I are starting to really like the same things, and it's getting a little annoying. I promise I have a 9 out of 10 rating here, and that is what I wanted to give it. And for the same reasons that you have just mentioned yourself, I think they really thought this movie through, and I think when you give the tools, the resources to somebody like these twins here, and they really want to prove themselves, like amazing things can happen. And this is just an example of that. And it was great, man. Like I'm telling you, the pace and the scare factor just really blew me away. The intro scene blew me away. It made me ask questions, but the movie does a good job of answering them. A lot of symbolism there. It just for an hour and 35 minutes. Great movie, seriously.
100%.
9 out of 10. I would recommend it. I'm glad it was in our radars as well. And like the tomato meter. Not that I look at this shit. You know me. I hate this stuff. 94%. Audience score 83%. One of the highest rating we've seen in a while. So that
100%.
Yeah.
I do want to say I want to give a shout out to the directors and the writers. So like you mentioned, Danny and Michael Philippou, and it was written also by Bill Hinsman and Dally Pearson. I just want to say I'm definitely going to stick around for anything that they make.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll keep an eye out, and we'll mention it if they come out with any other projects. Yeah, like you mentioned, they're YouTubers. They're YouTubers, and they made this.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing that they were able to do this. Again, I'm gonna definitely stay tuned if they come up with anything else, especially if it's horror.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. That was my rating. That was Tommy's rating. Do you have a rating for Talk to Me? If you do, please let us know. Comment. Let us know. We will be more than happy to share with everyone else. That's all I got to say. Moving forward,
yes,
we have some news, some things we want to catch up on. Tommy, I'll give the mic to you. What's up?
I'm gonna start with everything that's close to my birthday. I've been talking about this for some time. And I mean, I love this franchise. I know they're like, literally 10 movies in now. But I wanted to see, how they're doing this. We knew this was happening, but we hadn't gotten a trailer. I've only actually seen the trailer once, so I actually want to rewatch it. But, so wait, did they push the date up? It looks like they pushed the date up. I didn't realize that. Okay. With that being said, Saw X.
Yeah.
We just got a trailer. Jigsaw and Amanda return. So Tobin Bell is back. And like I mentioned, we just got a trailer. It's coming out September 29th. So it's actually coming out a month before my birthday. I believe the original date on this was October. So it's good to know it actually got pushed early. And I think it's because they didn't want to compete with Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
Just coming out at the end of October.
That's probably smart. Five Nights at
got a
Freddy's
poster
is also
as well.
October 27th. Yep. So we have a poster. We'll be showing that to you right now. Saw X. We've been talking about this. We're getting closer to the release date. No trailer, no nothing. And then like in the span of a week, we got a poster and we got a trailer. The trailer answered a lot of our questions, right? We obviously knew that John Kramer was dead, and the fact that this movie's going to be some type of, I guess, prequel or not. I don't like prequels. I've been very clear about this. Not that I want to completely diminish any prequel that comes my way. It's just I really don't think we need prequels like that. I feel like they try so hard to go out of the scope of what the original film was about that we lose interest. That's just my personal take on it, my experience with it. This trailer wasn't bad. Yes, that trailer, that post right there, that's the poster for Saw X. And can I give you a fun fact about this poster?
Yeah, sure.
So there was a
summer
film festival, I believe. Somewhere, I don't really know where it took place, to be honest with you. Give me 1 second. I'll see if I can find it. No, I don't know where it took place. Whatever. There was a summer film festival that took place, and they showed this trap, this scene. So what's happening here is somebody has these tubes connected to their eyes. So they have a choice, either to break their fingers one by one, or have their eyes sucked out of them. So this is apparently what the trap is. So this is spoilers.
Take all my
Not
fingers.
even spoilers, but this is like,
Take all my fingers.
Yeah. Obviously. So 10 fingers to save 2 eyes. Is that something you would do? Of course. I need to see everything. I guess, But already we're getting that whole, torture, gruesome Saw vibe there. And the trailer.
And we have an official plot synopsis, right?
Yes, we have an official plot synopsis that I saw from the trailer. I didn't even read whatever was online.
Yeah.
Did you catch what it was on the trailer?
Yeah. I catched what it was on the trailer, but I also did read what it's about. Like you mentioned, it's a prequel. It takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. Amanda's back, and basically what happens was like he was trying to get I don't know if it was a cure, some treatment for cancer.
Yeah.
And they play him. They play him.
Yeah,
and he basically exacts revenge on all of them.
Yeah, exactly. He meets up with this doctor who has a special team, and then they promise him to remove the cancer that obviously we know John Kramer had, and he goes back to his other doctor, and then the doctor's like, nothing was removed. This it's still there. It got worse, whatever the case was, and then obviously John Kramer does what he does, and he punishes those people who kind of like deserve it. And
it takes place in Mexico.
It looks simple, but at the same time, it also looks like a lot is happening. And I don't know. Based on that trailer, I'm for it. I'm really for it. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm for it. I feel like it kind of justifies itself in the sense that it's like the only one that it looks like it's in. I believe it's in Mexico or it's
Yeah,
somewhere outside of the United States where he got the treatment. So he's getting all these people outside of the United States. So I guess canon wise, you can say that that's why nobody else really knew about it,
true,
and that's
true,
why they're
true.
showing it to us now. Because if it would have happened in the United States, you know, it would have been caught before all the other movies and stuff.
True.
But the events of this movie. Oh, actually, so let me go ahead and read the plot synopsis. I
Yeah,
actually
read it
have
because
it here.
I don't know what's out there.
Set between the events of Saw 1 and 2, a sick and desperate John travels to Mexico for a risky and experimental medical procedure in hopes for a miracle cure for his cancer, only to discover the entire operation is a scam and to defraud the most vulnerable. The entire operation is a scam to defraud the most vulnerable. The infamous killer returns to his work, turning tables on the con artists in his signature visceral way through devious, deranged, and ingenious traps.
Okay,
Yep.
kind of like just what we talked about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it is in Mexico.
Yeah, so there's I guess there's some validity there. So I don't know. I think it looks good. Obviously, the surprise at the end of the trailer that Amanda's back. I mean, not really back, but you know what I mean, like helping
Yep.
him out. And I'm interested. I'm interested to see how it goes. And it's been a while since I saw a film in theaters. By the way, one of the most, you know, underrated theme songs there is. I think that theme song is
100%.
freaking amazing.
100%. And it's interesting because, like, I don't know, what do they do from here, right? They've been trying to kind of what do you want to? They've been trying to bring back this franchise for a
Yeah,
while now, and they haven't
revive
really
it or something.
revive it
Yeah.
in a way, and they haven't really executed it properly. And now it seems like they've gone back to square one, but they can't really move it forward because he's dead. So
Yeah, but Saw X. If you're interested, you know, let us know. It'll be coming out September 29th. It was pushed up, like Tommy just mentioned, so be on the lookout for that. We will definitely watch it and definitely talk about it. Moving on, there is something that you and I were just talking about before. Halloween. We got a Halloween H2O anniversary here.
do I even want to
And-
put this? Do I even want to put this up though?
Oh my god! Honestly, I didn't even know why they do it. I didn't. Do you
Let
think
me-
it stays though? Do you think because it has like that type of, you know, what you call it, touch to it that everybody knows about Halloween H2O that they leave that mask there?
What the fuck is up with this mask, man?
Goodness gracious!
So they're coming out with a 4K version of H2O, which, by the way, I really enjoy the movie itself. Right, I really like it. I would normally probably buy this Blu-ray, but with that being said, I know this is a zoomed-up version. But with that being said, they used the original mask that they used when they filmed the movie. This mask, if you don't know, was replaced, and they used a completely different mask, and they used a CGI mask. But this mask just looks completely weird. The nose was like a weird
Yeah,
design.
that mask.
The
really
hair
didn't
is
get
weird
any-
too. Look at the hair
Yeah.
on this mask. And there's other pictures from the Blu-ray that still show this mask. I don't know who gave them the green light. Did they not have any other pictures? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that either. This mask never really got the praise, you know. So I don't know. And the thing about this film is that it had 3 masks, right?
Yeah.
If you guys know in the opening sequence when Michael kills the nurse, he actually has the Halloween 6 mask that they were gonna use, but then that stopped. So then they used this, and then there was also another because this is all CGI. It's like. And like, there's like nothing dark around here. Like, if you're talking about Michael having the darkest eyes, and like you see like normal shit there, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's not really a good
And
look.
the hair is weird on this one too. Like I don't know what's up.
The hair, yeah, the hair I really don't mind as much. It is a little
Bro,
bit thick. Why is it
bro.
popping out like that?
Okay, I'm gonna look up. But I'm gonna show you how bad this mask is right now.
Yeah, but
This mask is pretty bad, bro.
yeah, I don't doubt it. I really did enjoy Halloween H2O. It is the slowest one, I believe, in the whole franchise. It really is pretty slow, but I did enjoy it. You know, especially being like revived from 2 and kind of continuing its story. I thought it was pretty cool. Jamie Lee Curtis returning, but 4K, why not? But that mask is definitely not it. But the thing is, think about their stance though. Like, how can you change it now, right? Like, you can't change it. Everybody knows about that mask, and if you're gonna release something in 4K, you gotta stick to something original. You can't make any changes right now, right?
I mean, now, but damn, okay. Here, look, I'm gonna go ahead and just share my entire screen. You'll only see this if you are if you're watching the YouTube video. So for our podcast listeners, tune into to
Our
I guess
video.
YouTube to actually see this. But I'm gonna have to zoom in here. Let me see. All right. So these are the 4 masks. Wait. These are the 4 masks. These are the 4 masks of H2O.
Okay. Let's see.
So technically there's 3. So this is the one that they ended up using. Right? This is the CGI mask. This is the one from the beginning, which is the one that you mentioned from Halloween 6. So technically there's 3, not counting the CGI mask.
The CGI is on the bottom.
Yes, this is CGI.
Yeah.
This is the one that they ended up using. I don't really mind this mask as much. It's just that the eyebrows and the eyes are terrible. What the fuck is this, bro? This is the mask that you see. This is the mask that you see in the Blu-ray.
Oh, it's disgusting.
That's this mask. That's this mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's yeah.
Just keep the bottom one, man. Keep the bottom one and put darkness around it. I don't know. Even the hair, I guess the hair is a little bit. Actually, keep the first one. Keep 6.
Oh no, 6 is a way better mask.
Yeah,
6 is the best mask out of all of them.
It's more. It's
I
more
think,
Michael.
I think 6 is the best mask out of all of them. This mask had hair slicked back. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. And then
Michael Keaton style, bro.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they did with that, but Halloween H2O. What anniversary is it? Because I know it came out 98. It came out 98. No, so this is 25 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, so this is 25 years. 25-year anniversary, 4K. It's always good to have a physical copy. You know what's happening right now with the digital world.
That's true.
So, just saying, that's that. Anything else to add with this one, or we moving on?
No, let's move on. We'll have at least one more thing that I want to talk about.
Okay, you want to go on? Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so that was actually not bad. That was actually not bad. So The Exorcist. Yeah, did you see the trailer? Talk to me?
Yes, I saw the trailer during Talk to Me. I had seen it once before that, and I'm gonna fucking hold this against everybody. They won't fucking believe me. But the same way I saw Halloween Ends early, I was invited to fucking watch this movie, and I did not watch it because it was fucking 3 hours away. But I don't think it looks terrible. It just looks different. It looks a little strange. There's 2 girls now, and they went missing. I don't know what they're doing.
The thing is, a lot of people are not liking this. This is
So different.
it has a negative vibe here. We talked about it in our previous episodes that it didn't get good reviews for the people that had the early
Correct.
screenings.
Yes.
That it wasn't scary even. That's what they were saying too. There was only one big scare and that it was long and nothing was happening. I don't know that. I don't know what happened. I've never seen this film. The trailer itself, I don't want to say it's all bad. I really don't think it's all bad. I don't think it's
different.
that bad. Yeah, it's definitely different. Obviously, like you mentioned, you got 2 of them. I feel like the trailer does give you like almost the whole story.
Yeah, I did think it was a lot. However,
Yeah.
when I was watching the trailer, I almost didn't realize it was The Exorcist because the way it starts and they go missing, then they show up,
Yeah,
and apparently
listen, you have to have a different touch on it, right? You can't have everything be
100%.
a revival or whatever you want to call it. So it's like, I thought the trailer was nice. I like the ending, the touch of how they actually did the original trailer. Like when that first trailer came out, people were leaving the movie theaters because it was so scary, back in the day. So
And then the theme.
the theme, of course.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah, I
ding,
mean,
ding, ding, ding.
I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with it. I'm not angry with it. I'm not upset with it.
All right. So when you talk to me, look at her in her eyes, okay?
Okay.
She looks a little scary. Gotta admit it though. You gotta admit that looks a little scary. That looks a little scary.
And the trailer itself, it wasn't like the assumption that I got was that it was going to be scary when I'm looking at the trailer. So it's not that it's hard for me to believe it's not scary. It's just I wonder like how that is. Like it must be really crappy for that to be the case. But whatever. Only we.
I feel like if I leave my camera off like this and make our YouTube listeners watch this, I think they'll get scared. I think if looking at this picture long enough, you'll get scared. I think you will get scared looking at this picture long enough.
I mean,
A little uneasy, a little uneasy.
it's definitely a little bit uneasy. It's just my thing is, I don't know, man.
I'm trying to be optimistic,
I feel
man.
Bad for David Gordon Green, man. This movie
Yes,
is not
this
getting...
movie is directed by David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that, but we mentioned it before.
We mentioned it before, absolutely, and we know how Halloween ended, and this movie's not getting praised. This movie is having a lot of negative, what you call it, thoughts with it, vibes, reviews, whatever you want to call it. It's all negative.
Did you see the black and white poster though?
No, I did not actually.
There's a black and white poster.
Okay, let me see. I'll see it right now. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it too is, to be honest with you, I'm not really crazy on these type of movies either. Like I've seen The Exorcist and it's a classic and all that stuff, but like how many more of these we're gonna get? Like the only really thing that's holding this movie, like, I feel like David Gordon Green set himself up for failure, because the only thing that's holding this movie to be, what it is the name. And then on top of that, if you don't deliver because it's a, classic film, then you're going to get, shit on, which is essentially what's happening right now. David Gordon Green, man, like I want to root for you. I hope this does well. I don't know how I'm going to look at it, but my God, man.
We got to still watch it, man. We got to still watch it.
Forget the movies that were done. Just do something else. I mean, do something else.
Listen, you can say the same thing about Halloween, but we still want to see those Michael Myers movies. You're still going to watch them.
Oh, by the way, we never actually touched on that. We got to touch on that right now, actually.
Do we want to? Okay. All right.
I mean,
we still got some time. We still got some time.
Yeah.
All right. So, for our last topic, right? I'll let you transition here.
Well, yeah, last topic, but I also wanted to mention one thing real quick. So, there are talks about the Halloween franchise and the direction that it's going to be headed towards. I'm sorry. So, Blumhouse is out, right? They don't want to do anything more with Halloween. They did their project, their trilogy. Awesome. You showed me that there were talks about a TV show and how they're going to do something with that. This is obviously all just rumors. Nothing is official. This is just rumors, conjecture. So, for me, I mean, I don't want a TV show. I don't want a Halloween TV show. I don't want a Michael Myers TV show. I've said this about Scream. I did enjoy the Scream TV show. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty nice. But that was a whole different take on it.
MTV show, and it was like the first two seasons. The third one was trash. But okay, continue.
I didn't see the third one. I only saw the first two.
Don't.
Yeah. So, my thing is, when you think of Halloween, when you think of Michael Myers, you know what to expect. You expect Halloween time. You expect him going around killing people, all that stuff. A TV show, I don't want an anthropology series. I don't even know how that's going to make sense, to be honest with you. I would like to see an attempt to possibly continue like a movie, but like maybe do the same thing they did. Maybe continue it from the first one, or even Halloween Kills, because that was a good movie too. I don't know, but if you want to redo it again and have your own take on it,
yeah,
cool.
Don't continue. I would completely ignore the last franchise, especially not Kills. Fuck that movie. If anything, here, you want to pitch? All right, guys. My infamous hot takes. You ready? How would you continue the Halloween franchise? There's only one way to do it now. They already continued this one, right? You got to continue the funniest movie in the franchise. Better than Halloween Kills. We got to continue Halloween Resurrection. He's still alive.
Get the fuck out of here.
No. Okay. All jokes aside. You have to. I would continue the Jamie storyline. I would continue 6. Actually, no. Continue 5 because 6 he's an adult. I would continue that storyline. I would
even skip 5. I would just go straight from 4, honestly, if you want.
You could too. Honestly, you could. But I would continue 4 or 5 just to make things a little bit different. And that way you don't go down the rabbit hole that 6 went where if like Jamie's an adult and Jamie's already dead. I think you continue with Jamie as the character. And shit, maybe fucking what's her name again?
Danielle Harris.
Yeah, maybe Danielle Harris wants to play her. I think
she definitely would. She has her podcast too, actually, with the what's her name? The one that played Laurie in the Rob Zombie one.
Scott Taylor Thompson.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. Yeah. Okay, so I think you continue 5 or 6. 4 or 5, and you bring Danielle Harris back. Even though she was in the Rob Zombie movie, but again, this is a completely different universe, and at this point, we've established that there's different Halloween universes.
Yeah,
But I think this is the only way you can continue it. Keep her as the shit. If you can somehow get this with the same budget that the last Halloween got, or like not the last one, but the 2018 Halloween, I think there's a lot of potential. And I think a lot of people do want to see Daniel Harris back. I think Lee Curtis is dumb. Like, we don't want to bring her back anymore. I think that's the ship has sailed. She's come back multiple times now. Let Daniel Harris get another go at it. She never really got the conclusion that she deserved with her, being recasted in Curse of Michael Myers, and then like her kind of conclusion was dying as the friend in Rob Zombie's remake. So I think bring her back now. And I don't think this is much of a hot take anymore. I think this is probably a good way of doing it. I think,
and I would love
if
to
they
see
had a brain, this is the route to take.
I would love to see that. I think you make a good point. I haven't given it much thought as to where this franchise would go. I would like to sit down and kind of think of it, But I think you make a great point. I think that's a great route to go. Again, the Halloween trilogy that we just got from Daniel Gordon Green wasn't really all that bad to me. Like, besides the ending was just, my goodness, that was just terrible. Like, that movie was terrible. I hate to say it, but it was terrible.
He's gonna keep on shitting on it.
Yeah, it was terrible. So like, if they want to play with it, that's cool. But
Now, I don't think they should touch that franchise. Again, this is all my opinion here, of course, but I think,
of course,
there's so much potential to go off of 4 and 5. And like you mentioned, now that I'm really thinking about it, if you really want to do something different, continue 4 and have it.
I think 4 makes more sense because 5 is
continue off of 4, and you could even have Jamie being in a psychiatric unit or something after what she did to her mom, right? We never find out what happened to her, right? So she could have killed her mom.
That's true.
And it could continue from there. Like, she could have been locked up all this time or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential.
Just no TV show. I don't want a TV show. No TV show.
All right, I got the movie here already. Ready? So, it's been 15 years. Jamie's been locked up. One day, her doctor goes to visit her with a nurse, and all the patients have escaped from the hospital, and Jamie escaped from the hospital, and Jamie's the new Michael Myers. Boom. And then there's a new Loomis.
That's a terrible movie.
It's basically Halloween with Jamie
movie.
as Michael Myers.
Well, yeah, exactly, but that's terrible, and Jamie's not going to be Michael Myers. My thing is, if you're going to continue 4, you continue 4. From that, like, it could even be that year. I wouldn't even mind.
No.
I would. If anything, I would probably.
How is Daniel Harris gonna play her younger self?
I'm trying to say continuing. I'm saying continue it from Halloween 4. It can be 10 to. Honestly, she can pass her 20 years later.
Okay, but then it's not.
So make it like around 2000. It could be around 2000.
Okay, but I thought you meant continue off this, like, the exact date. Like, she was.
No, I mean like the story. The story. It continues from 4, and then
got you.
I don't want 5. Take 5 off. Take 6
off. I know. But I was saying, okay, what I said just now was like a half joke.
I don't want Jamie Lee to
a half joke, but I still
be the killer though.
What I was said was a half joke, but it could actually be done. With that being said, I think what you could do is. Just have it take place in current times. That's it. Even if it continues 4.
If you want to see Halloween franchise continue, how would you like to see that happen? Do you want it to be a TV show? Do you want it to be a movie? If you have any thoughts, please let us know.
And Danielle Harris, if you're watching this, you're awesome.
She is awesome. I absolutely love her. I think she's one of the greatest actresses alive in terms of
and I love Hatchet.
Halloween franchise.
And I love Hatchet too. And
Hatchet,
how many Hatchets?
Fire.
How many Hatchet movies have you seen?
Something I want to mention real quick before we leave. Scream, the game. I told you that I ordered it. It came in Funko Games. Now this game is from 3 to 8 players. I've played it. We played it with a group of 6. We had an absolute blast. We didn't know what to expect with this game. They give you instructions inside. There's also a how-to video if you scan the QR code. However, it's actually not released on their website. I did tweet at Funko Games, and they said that it's coming out very, very soon. They responded. It's still not there, so I don't know, when that will happen. But they do give you instructions in this box, and it's pretty straightforward. Not actually straightforward, but once you play it the first time or two, I think you kind of get into a rhythm and understand how the game works. But it's really cool. It's you have a scene, and a scene consists of like, so you have scene and scream cards. So scream cards can be multiple. It can be a phone, it can be a popcorn, it can be a keychain, it can be whatever it is. And then you have a scene that consists of 3 or 4 or 5 of these scream cards. So what happens is, with everybody's turn, you can either trade or switch a card. I mean, trade a card or draw a card, to kind of get all those scene, cards at your hand. So this way you can discard your cards and complete a scene. So the game is, you have to complete the scene, but Ghostface, you have to download the app. Ghostface will call you throughout the game, and this game is done in real time. So you guys got to work together, and he will kind of obviously try to kill you. He's going to try to kill you. He's going to tell you you must have X amount of cards next time I call you. There's also like different type of locations, like the Mocker House, the pool hall, all that stuff. And like, if you have any cards that are associated with that place, then you got to like discard them. Like he'll try to sabotage, obviously, you winning the game. And it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, but it's really fast. Like people get a little hyper. So highly, recommend. This is really fun. Tommy, I know you don't have it, but you should play it.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm really into Funkos and all their stuff. So if you mentioned the game and there's a voice part of it, I want to see what it's like, and maybe you'll give me a better, you'll show me what's going on there and show me the voice.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's all we got today, everybody. We do appreciate you listening to our podcast, wherever it is that you're listening to, and follow us on TikTok at Well That's Horrific. Follow us on now X. Am I calling it X? Because I was going to say Twitter, but now it's X. So follow us on X at That's Horrific.
Fuck is that guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
And also,
okay.
you have Instagram at
yes.
Well That's Horrific. Because if you don't,
well, that's horrific.
Well, That's Horrific. Peace.
Peace.